Rahman Rahim. So we're discussing so far Sahabi Hidayah in the Muqaddimah. He explained that Allah Ta'ala has sent the Anbiya alayhi salatu wa taslim for the guidance. And then obviously they couldn't pronounce on everything. So then the ulama came and they spoke. And then obviously they couldn't fulfill everything because of changing circumstances. Things also change. New Messiah, that's what we discussed. غير أن الحوادث متعاقبة الوقوع. That happenings come one after the other. One nawazila. Nawazil also means nazala means for something to happen, and also referred. It means nawazil also used for the fatwas because new fatwas, new scenarios come about. So one nawazila يضيق عنها نطاق الموضوع. That the the scope of his subject matter is also limited. So what he's trying to say that in one sitting, the ulama couldn't fulfill the needs and requirements till Qiyamah Day. Imam Hanifa with his team, I told you there in the Kitab it mentioned sometimes Imam Hanifa have 40 on his team. He had 40 ulama on his panel. Obviously the head was Imam Abu Yusuf, Imam Muhammad, Zufar bin Zuhair, Hassan bin Ziyad, etc. So he would have 40 on his panel. They would sit and discuss. But we know with the changing of times, with modernization, mechanization, industrialization, new things come up. So what he's trying to say, the main point Tayyib is making, that nobody could fulfill the complete need. As time progressed, new things would come all the time. And here in the Shara also, they say, if somebody asks, what was the need to author Hidayah Sharif, what was the need to author, if you saying all the work has been done, so he's saying, look, nobody could have done all the work. With the progress in time, always new things will come. And then if with the usul, like I told you, if you look, there's a book called um, Fiqhul Buyu, Fiqhul Buyu by Mufti Taqi Uthmani. Maybe we can study it one day. All the same usul that used in Hidayah. Inshallah, as we go through that, I'll show you the usul. I say this is the usul. See, from this usul we learn this masla. The same usul that has been extrapolated from the Quran and Hadith by Imam Abu Hanifa, and he got from his Ustad the same usul. He unraveled all the modern day masail. Like, you get a buyer seller. So if you go to a machine, a vending machine, you buy from the machine, who's the buyer, who's the seller, who's the ijab, where's the kubul, all that type of thing. If you go to a shop, you buy something, the same usul. He is unraveled all of those things. So what he's saying here is that yes, they done the groundwork, our how we say our forebears, but still you can't say there was no need for any further additional work because there's new things coming all the time. غير أن الحوادث متعاقبة الوقوع والنوازل يضيق. Right? They said واقتناص الشوارد بالاقتباس من الموارد. Yeah, I told you, I just mentioned it just now. Any author, when he starts off the book, he pulls out the most difficult words because he wants to show you he's so full of stock. He wants to show you what a wide vocabulary he got. So what he says in this Ibarat here, he's comparing the hunting of wild animals. An animal is in the big field, wild animal. To trap that animal, how difficult is it? You need nets, you need this, that. So he says same thing here. Like that's what he's saying. To try to understand and Messiah, which is no pronunciation, right, from the forebears, to understand them and to unravel them, to unpack them, etc., is like capturing the animal. Like how, you have to go after the wild animal and then you capture it. It's elusive, it's on the plains. The same thing, the new masla comes about. We don't know what it is. Then you have to unravel, you have to understand what is happening here. Is this a bayu sarf? Is this a bayu ta'ati? And then how, so he's likening the capture of wild animals to understanding and unraveling and packing new different masail. Understood? So see, iqtinas means wa iqtinasu shawarid, and hunting shawarid means like the disobedient animal, right? Minal mawaridi, from the sources of the Sharia. So you need to, how the tools you use, like you use a net, you use a gun, you use a spear, today you use traps, whatever. You use that to trap the animal. So we need to use the Quran, the Hadith, you use the Ijma of the Ummah to trap and understand the Maslah. So like The masla is elusive. We don't understand what is happening. It's elusive like a prey in a big field. Yes, but once we got the proper tools, we can understand what is happening here. We can catch that prey once we got the proper tools. You're a skilled hunter. You can catch that Messiah, that masla. You can unravel that masla, and you can understand what is being said there. Right. So I was telling you there, I was saying, iqtibas means to hunt ash-shawaridi, the wild animals, right? Bil iqtibasi, right? Iqtibas, what does iqtibas? Iqtibas means uh, to take control of it by taking it. Minal mawaridi, mawari refer to place of, yeah. So yeah, it means taken from the Quran, taken from the Hadith, taken from the Sunnah, etc. Right? Are you with me? So it's a very baligh, very eloquent, so to say, a very eloquent comparison. And I told you, obviously, the author, he wants to show you what his depth of the Arabic language is. So, like how you trap the animal from his place of origin, you need to trap and capture and understand. Read the next text. Yeah. So what wal-i'tibaru bil amsal, and comparing it with is like means sun'ati rijal is the action of real men. So what you're doing is, if you got a new masla here, right? You don't know what it means, right? Now to find a like in it from the Quran, to find a like in it from the Sunnah, to find a like in it from the consensus of the ulama, that is the work of the real men, rijal wa hadha al-ummah, to extrapolate. So wal-i'tibaru, to compare bil amsal with the examples that is mentioned, min sun'ati rijal, it is the work of real men. In other words, it's not child's play. It's not for any amateur you to come and say, okay, I think this mustache should be like this because this mustache is like this, etc., etc. Right? Right. Then wabil wuqufi ala al-ma'akhiri ya'uddu alayha bin nawajisi. So this is also they're saying, this is atfu to the previous one. They're saying والاعتبار بالأمثال من سنة الرجال, to compare to the examples is from the work of الرجال, and وبالوقوف على المآخذ يعض عليها بالنواجس من سنة الرجال. Then to وقوف means to learn على المآخذ about the places it come from, right? And يعض عليها بالنواجس, and to hold firm to it with your nawajis. In Arabic, normally when you say you hold firm to something, say addu alayha bin nawajis. Is so like to hold firm with your molars. When you want to have firm grip of something, then you normally grip it with your teeth. Some things are awkward, like tight. You can't open with your fingers. What you do, like a Coke bottle. You know, you get a Coke, you get a lid. You can't take it off your finger. You don't have to open. What you do, some people you see they can open it with their molars even. The same thing what he's saying here, that wabil wuqufi, and then to learn about this, right, to learn about this, right, to learn about it, right, to learn about it, bil wuqufi, on its sources, and then to hold upon it firmly with your molars. This is from the work of real men in Sunnat Rijal. Read the next one. Right. So here is interesting thing. I'm going to tell you first what he's saying. He's saying first he wrote a book called Bidayatul Mubtadi. I mentioned this to before. And then he wrote a commentary of it in 80 volumes. Bidayatul Mubtadi, which, and then it was Kifayatul Muntaha or Kifayatul Muntaya. But then you realize who's going to read 80 volumes? Here in our madrasa, we can't. We are still. We supposed to be students of Deen, isn't it? Isn't we are students of Deen? We are students of Deen, but we can't even read 4 volumes. I told you I spoke to my friend in the UK. The UK is that he said most of the Darulums, at least Alhamdulillah in South Africa, if you go to the big Darulums, if you go to Azadville, you go to Zakaria, and you go to Springle Beach, where I studied, Alhamdulillah, at least we do all 4 volumes of Hidayah Sharif. We do all 4. And inshallah, we'll do all, you also do all 4, inshallah. Say inshallah. So he was telling me, my friend is also Mufti, he came to study here by Mufti Ibrahim Desai. He said there in UK, none of the Darulums, they do the whole of Hidayah. They don't do the whole of Hidayah. He said they only do the first part and the second part, or the Guru Kitabul Buyu, all all they allow Kitabul Jihad and all this stuff. They don't do that. So what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make here is this here, that 4 volumes, we can't even do it today. We can't. What would have happened if Isai Bidayah left, he wrote his original book in 80 volumes and he left it like that? Nobody would have read it. But anyway, yeah, he's saying وقد جرى علي الموعد في مبدأ بداية المبتدئ. So جرى علي, my promise, موعد, my promise that جرى علي, that come upon me في مبدأ بداية المبتدئ, in starting the book بداية المبتدئ, which is also his book, also the original book, that what أن أشرحها, right, that I must write a commentary on it بتوفيق الله تعالى, with the good fortune of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? شرحا, I wrote a sharh, اسمها بكفاية المنتهى. Its name was كفاية, I'm just checking it, كفاية المنتهى or منتهى. Let me just check here for you. It is an ashraha. What you got there? كفاية المنتهى is in your kitab. Okay. Sometimes if you got the Arab there and I read it wrong, you must correct me and show me what, tell me what you got in your kitab, right? So he wrote the original كفاية منتهى, right? فشرعت فيه. I wrote it, I started, right? Right? فشرعت فيه والوعد يسوغ بعض المساغي. And a promise normally it allows for some latitude. Then وحين أكاد أتقي اتكاء الفراغ. And then when I was close to come, right, أكاد means close, أتقي to rely upon اتكاء الفراغ, completing this book, right? Then تبينت فيه نبذا من الإذناب. It became apparent to me something that من الإذناب, that this is too long, right? وخشيت أن يهجره لأجل الكتاب. Then I feared people won't read my book. They will abandon my book, right? لأجل الكتاب, because of its length. فصرفت أنال العناية إلى شرح آخر موسوم بالهداية. Then I spent my فصرفت أنال العناية, my energies, right? The efforts of energies إلى شرح آخر, to make another شرح موسوم بالهداية, and its name will be Hidayah, right? So just I think for your information, remember in your Hidayah Sharif, look out there, you got the overlined ibarat. What you got? Now, the overlined ibarat is written in your kitab here. It is either taken from 2 places. Either it is taken from Quduri. Remember, we discussed this. Imam Quduri was before Imam Hidayah. In fact, he was the highest standing faqir in Imam Hidayah. He took the ibarat of Quduri and he took the ibarat of Jami Saghir. Now, I don't know if you remember, I told you, remember, acquaint yourself with this word. This word is called Zahirul Riwayah, or the usul. Remember what was this? Remember, Imam Muhammad took the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa, and he took the opinion of Imam Abu Yusuf, and he took the opinion of himself, and he captured all the masail in 6 different books. One was called Mafsud or Al-Asal. Today we don't have the complete one. I got this book by the house, but it's not complete. It's just lengthy on fiqh, Hanafi fiqh. Ziyadat, Siyar al-Saghir, Siyar al-Kabir, Jami al-Saghir, and Jami al-Kabir. 6 books. So this is the most authentic books in the Hanafi madhab. It forms the backbone of the Hanafi madhab. Yes, there are other books that are written by other students of Imam Hanifa, like Imam Hassan bin Ziyad and Zuhair bin Zuhair. these books are called, when you do iftar, you'll see it's called the Haruniyat, it's called the Kaisaniyat. But remember, these students were not so prominent students. So when there is a contradiction between their books and Imam Muhammad's book, Imam Muhammad always gave precedence because Imam Muhammad was the closest student. To understand is simple. Say, I got two teachers. I mean, I got two students. I got you and I got another guy. They're both my students, right? So now you say I said like this here. But the other guy here, he said no, I said the same. He said no, I didn't say like this. But he's most of the time not here. Or maybe he's here, but he's absent. Whose word are we going to take? We're going to take your word because you were all the time here. You are most knowledgeable about what I say because you are all the time with me. The same thing, Imam Muhammad was all the time with Imam Hanifa. He was like third in command. So he has most accurately captured the opinions of Imam Abu Hanifa, of Imam Yusuf. So it's the most accurate, right? So if some other student come and he attributes another opinion to Imam Abu Hanifa, we will always give, come, read. We'll always give preference to the opinion of what is in the Zahiri Riwayah. So this Jami Saghir is it is one of the original books. It is one of the what? The usul. So there in your kitab, you see in Hidayah Sharif, you see he got the ibarat of Quduri Sharif, and it will be written there, Hada al-Quduri or Hada, and then he got the ibarat of Jami Saghir. Then the ibarat which is not overlined, that is his explanation of the two. You understand what I'm saying? That is Sahib Hidayah's own explanation. Are you with me? So so that is what Hidayah Sharif is. It is the Ibarat of Quduri Sharif, the Ibarat of Sajam Sahir Sharif, and it is his explanation which is the right. So so after having written the 80 volumes, he says, فَصَرَفْتُ أَنَادَ الْإِنَايَةِ I then spent the energies of my energies إلى شرح آخر to another book موسوم بلا called Hidayah. Right? أجمع فيها بتوفيق الله تعالى بين عيون الرواية ومتون الدراية تاركا للزوائد في كل باب معرضا عن هذا النوع من الأصحاب مع أنه يشتمل على أصول ينسحب عليها فصول. So he's like explaining what he done in Hidayah Sharif, what was his what you can say methodology, or in Arabic say what was his manhaj in writing this book. So see, let's look at the word uyun. Uyun is a jam of ain. So he's saying, I gathered ajma'u fiha, Hidayah Sharif, with the permission of Allah Ta'ala, bayna uyun riwayah. So uyun means of narrations in the madhab. And I explained to you just now what are the most authentic. So uyun in this context, or it I, but he's trying to say I took from mostly from the what I took from the okay, maybe I'm just explaining something else. You see, you get in also another type of kitab. I explain you now the type of kitab is what the Zahiru Riwayah. Then you get the Mukhtasar. There's two or three Tahawi. I got it by the house. You get Mukhtasar al-Karhi, Imam Karhi. What did Imam Kuduri do? He took, see, he took the Zahiru Riwayah, which was 6 books, right? And he took all the repetitions out and all the ikhtilaf, and he tried to make one simple companion for a person to guide him in his daily life. That's called a mukhtasar. So you know what's a mukhtasar? A mukhtasar is, there's 3 famous ones in Hanafi Madhab. Mukhtasar al-Quduri, Mukhtasar Imam Karhi, and Mukhtasar of Tahawi. So, but the most famous one is Mukhtasar Quduri. It's why it's chosen for you to study in Madrasa. So what Imam Quduri does, he took that 6 books, which is called the Zahiru Riwayah, and he took out the repetitions and he condensed it into a simple menu for an ordinary person. So it is basically one of the most authentic references in the madhab, the mukhtasar. So that's why Ibn Sa'ib is saying, I took uyuna riwayah, the most authentic of narrations from the madhab, which is from Jami Saghir and from Quduri Sharif, right? And I put it here. Then he says, wa mutuna riwayah, right? Sorry, wa mutunal dirayati. Riwayat also refer to riwayat means that is from the Quran and the Hadith, etc. That was uyun, right? The authentic from the Quran and the Hadith. Then matan normally refers to back. Normally, even the back of the animal is referring to. So that first part means mutun, the most authentic from the Quran and Hadith, right? Mutuna riwayah. Sorry, uyuna riwayah. Then mutun also refer to the most authentic and strong also. Mutun. I told you refer to the back of a buffalo is referred to matanu thawri, right? So here also I took the most authentic of the diraya. The diraya comes from daraya, dri, to know. Ma darai to remember like that word. So he's saying I took the most authentic, and in this context it means the akli dalail. Remember I told you before that Hidayah Sharif has a naqli dalil and an akli dalil. Naqli dalil means textual evidence from the Quran and Hadith. And akli dalil means a logical proof. I'll show you as we go through the Sabah. This is your naqli dalil from the Quran and this from the Hadith. And I'll show you um, this is your akli dalil. This is a logical proof. So here in his word, uyun and riwayah, he's making reference to what? The textual proofs that is taken that he put in, right? And mutun ad-diriyah is making reference to the logical proofs, right? Then he says, I included all of this in my book, right? Tarikan li zawaidi. I left out all the extra. In other words, my book was not exhaustive in giving you all the proofs of the Muslims. If you want all the detailed proofs, you have to look at what we term as the mutawwalat. Mutawalat means the lengthy books like this, Zahiru Riwaya, and there's a lot of other books. When you do the iftar, we'll show you, we'll teach you all the other different books, right? Then he says, right, تاركا للزواج في كل باب معرضا عن هذا النوع من الإصحاب, turning away, أعرض يعرض, turning away, عن هذا النوع من الإصحاب, from this type of ishab, come from suhub, lengthy discussions, some extra and lengthy discussions. But مع أنه يشتمل على أصول ينسحب على الفصول. But I mentioned, right, despite it, على أنه يشمل, it includes usul, such usul principles, ينسحب عليها الفصول, such principles that are included in here, in this word, right, from which the laws can come out from it. So I won't mention all the different laws, but I'll mention usul, principles, ينسحب على الأصول, that the different furu'at, they can be understood from it. As I told you, according to some ulama, Hidayah Sharif is not a fiqh book, it is a usul book. If you study it properly, you'll be able to unravel many other usul, right? It is أسأل الله تعالى أن يوفقني لإتمامها. I ask Allah Ta'ala for tawfiq, I will complete it, right? ويختم لي بالسعادة بعد اختتامها, and he will, right? So you feel إتمامها, I will complete it and I will finish it, or he will finish it for me, يختم لي for me بالسعادة, with good fortune, بعد اختتامها, after I complete doing it, حتى أن من سمت همته إلى مزيد الوقوف يرغب في الأطول والأكبر. To such an extent, that person, right, man sammat himmatuhu, who his desire, right, is hammat is towards ila mazidil wukufi. He wants more than what is in Hidayah Sharif. Yarghabu fil atwali wal akbar. He can then go towards what? The longer books, the more detailed books. Yarghabu, I told you, there are more detailed books. Then ثم سألني بعض إخواني, some of my friends requested me أن أملي عليهم المجموعة, that I dictate to them all of the المجموعة الثاني, the second compilation. So remember those days there were no printing press, right? So if you wanted a book, you sit at the feet of your ustad and you write the book, right? So that I dictate upon him, right? The second compilation refers to Hidayah Sharif. فَافْتَتَحْتُهُ that I started it مستعينا بالله تعالى, seeking assistance from Allah Ta'ala في تحرير في تحرير ما أقاوله, in writing that which I right. You got him, yeah. ما أقاول, what you got from أقاوله? He requested from me متضرعا إليه, turning towards Allah Ta'ala في التيسير, in making easy for ما أحاوله, in which I'm attempting to do it. إنه الميسر لكل أسير, he's the one who makes easy every difficult thing. وعلى ما يشاء قدير, and he, upon whatever he wishes, he has power. وبالإجابة جدير, and he is the one who can accept hastily. وحسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل, and Allah Ta'ala is sufficient for us, and he's the best person to entrust our faith in. Alhamdulillah, it brought us to the end of that khutbah, which was a bit tricky. I think we got most of it in place. I told you the author always starts off with a bang. You want to show you that what his capabilities are. Inshallah, from tomorrow we will start the actual Kitab al-Tahara, and it will be quite easy. It won't be very difficult, inshallah. So we start tomorrow, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala accept. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.